Good Nerve Shabbos. Welcome back to Reb Yankele's podcast. Today's podcast, again, dedicated to the Ilin Nishmas Ha'isha Chashuva Berendel Basar B'Faim Fischl Allah Shalom. Should be as Chosin Aliyah for her Neshama. This week's Parsha, we find Yaakov Avinu getting ready for his Patira, and we find two incredible things. Specifically, this parsha is divided into two parts. The first part, where we see Yaakov Avinu preparing, asking his son Yosef HaTzadik 6 separate times and 6 lashonos of bakasha, and begging him to chas v'shalom not allow that his guf should be buried in Mitzrayim, giving him multiple reasons why this should not happen. Ultimately, indeed, not wanting the Mitzrayim to turn his guf into Rachmana litzlan avodah zarah. Chazal also telling us that indeed he asked Yosef HaTzadik, as he was the only one capable of fulfilling this wish. An incredible message where Yaakov Avinu leaves the Shiftei Kohen, Klal Yisrael, with the basic knowledge and understanding that even when we find ourselves in a situation where, of course, whatever we need, whatever we think should happen, is something that we understand from 6 different directions that it must be so. And even when we understand that the person who should be giving us that thing, it should be so obvious to them that they should do that favor for us. It's expected of them. Yaakov Avinu tells us, stop and understand that this person indeed has the same connection to the Divrei Chazal, B'shvili Nivra Olam, to understand that that person indeed is not here to just do what you expect of them to do, but rather it is upon us to go and to ask and to add understanding when we want something from another person. But the second part of the parsha, and of course the culmination of Sefer Bereshis, is the Birchas Yaakov. The Birchas Yaakov, where Yaakov Avinu gave to every individual shevet, showing them how not only are each and every one of us individually different and unique, but also that each and every one of us has to embrace every part of who we are and understand that when we see and recognize our abilities, our talents, and our faults, that's how we know what we are here in this world for. Indeed, mentioning to each one of them as relevant their faults, their mistakes that they did in the past, showing them, not chas v'shalom that they're defined by their mistake, but showing them, don't ignore who you are, don't ignore the talents, abilities, and faults that you might have, but rather use them to find what your purpose in this world is. But of course, what Reb Yankele talks about is the fact that we see an incredible thing. Shimon Velevi went and they caused a situation where they killed everyone in Shechem. They took Shechem. And we indeed see that Yaakov Avinu mentions this, but we also see the fact that Yaakov Avinu does not end up gifting Shechem to Shimon Velevi, but rather gifting it to Yosef HaTzadik. And it's an incredible thing. What is happening in this parsha that makes us understand this move, this act that Yaakov Avinu did? And of course, Yaakov Avinu himself gives us the answer. And in essence, it's not just the answer for his action, but it is rather the understanding and the underlying factor in everything that happens in this world. Yaakov Avinu tells them, you know how we won in Shechem, Becharbi or Bekashti, as the Onkelos Targum says, with my Tefillah and my Bakasha. We won not because you took out your sword, because indeed he doesn't say your sword, he said my sword, my Bakasha, my Tefillah, as the Targum says. Nothing in this world happens without Tefillah. Tefillah is the key to everything. Of course, we believe the Rosh Hashanah is the time when we get the decree And it is decreed upon us exactly what we will get, the bracha in this year. But tefillah is the key to opening the door, to allowing that bracha to come and rest upon us. We see so many times in Shas where the Chazal go back to the story of Hannah and how she went and she davened in the Beis Hamikdash, and how she was a moras nefesh. Her whole nefesh was filled with tefillah. David HaMelech, the Gemara tells us, his whole self was tefillah. Because tefillah indeed is the essence, it is everything. Tefillah is what brings us across the finish line. And when we have tefillah, we have everything. And that, of course, is the culmination of Sefer Bereshis. Yosef HaTzadik, when he tries to get a bracha from Menashe Ephraim, Chazal tell us, there was a stalkus HaShchina. The Shechina left Yaakov Avinu because indeed there was a valid reason, as their great-great-great-grandchildren will be Choitim or Machtiem Esarabim, cause other Yidden in Klal Yisrael to sin. Yet still they were able to get the bracha. Why? Because Yosef HaTzadik davened for them. Of course there was a valid reason. Yosef HaTzadik didn't ignore the valid reason, but Yosef HaTzadik understood it is a time to daven, and as he did daven, of course they received the ultimate bracha from Yaakov Avinu. Hamalach Hagoy Eloisi Mikol Ra Yevarich Es Anaharim, giving them a bracha for eternity. Through what? Through the koyach of tefillah of Yosef HaTzadik, of not giving up, even when in his face he sees the Shechina Hagdoisha left and does not want Yaakov to give the brachas. Yosef HaTzadik still understands it is a time to daven, and with that tefillah he is zoiche to bring upon his family the incredible brachas that Yaakov Avinu wished upon them. May we all be zoiche individually to our unique bracha and to our unique understanding of who we are and what we are supposed to do in this world. And may we all have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos. Thank you.